Healthy Choice presents Bringing up children requires more knowledge than governing a state. Chinese wisdom. The world I dream of. It's difficult to imagine a child who wouldn't dream, but unfortunately, not all children's dreams come true. In Belarus, about 10,000 orphans and children deprived of parental care grow up in boarding homes. Some of them will be lucky, and for some of them a dream will remain a dream. The children who live in orphanages and boarding schools need support and help of not indifferent adults, psychologists, social workers, people who could help them make their dreams come true and make the children's everyday routine more interesting. But most of all, they need our regular human attention in order not to feel lonely and abandoned. As a matter of fact, in the first place, the children suffer from the lack of communication with ordinary people from the outside. Each of us is able to give a little bit of our warmth, love, or just simply a bit of our life experience to these children. Youth organization Healthy Choice has been working with the children who got into difficult life situations since 2002.
Наша организация была создана и зарегистрирована в 2002 году.
And officially registered in 2002. Thus, we're singled out from the organization's Social Health Center, Hope and Cure. In this organization, we provide help to children who live in the families of alcoholics. Then we started working with children from orphanages and boarding schools and understood that this was a new direction, though the problems were the same, namely, these children, as a rule, were also from the families of alcoholics. So we founded a new organization, Healthy Choice, and had it registered. Now our aim is to help children and young people who get into difficult situations. At present, the work has several directions. Teaching children and youth from risk groups all the necessary life skills. Support groups of the graduates from boarding schools. Social and pedagogical activities with the children having special needs. Prevention of psychoactive substances abuse among the risk group teenagers. Involvement of young people into volunteering activities. Social and psychological help to single parents and their children. Work with boarding school specialists. Working out information materials. The organization specialists help the so-called difficult children to find their place in life, to survive in this complex world. The work is organized on the basis of the boarding schools in Minsk and involves the children with psychophysical abnormalities, as well as on the basis of Social Pedagogical Center. In order to evaluate the Healthy Choice specialists' individual approach towards every child, as well as to see the benefits and interests for the children and teenagers, it's important to have a look at their work from the inside. This is a typical class of the psychologist, with the girls aged from 13 to 17. In their eyes, you can see grown-up distrust to everything they see around. The children often come to the classes looking concentrated, silent and reserved. But as soon as psychologists start talking to the girls, something changes. The girls are smiling, joking, communicating actively. They become childly, naive and open. Now they are at such an age when support of an important person who understands them, can listen to them, support and give advice is very essential. That's why they come to this class every week and discuss the problems of friendship, love, relationship between men and women, make plans for the future. The experienced psychologist, in the process of communication, games and training, helps them know more about themselves, know more about the world around them, and about their place in this world.
Основная цель данных занятий – это
The primary goal of these classes is socialization of the girls who are brought up in boarding schools into society. All the classes are arranged in the atmosphere which encourages the girls to exchange and get information and to use this information in their future life. This is a cookery class. The specialist in housekeeping explains to the pupils how to cut vegetables, cook not only simple dishes but also complex salads and soups, teaches them how to lay the table and serve the dishes. The children can demonstrate their skills at cookery contests. The cookery contest between two teams. One team is represented by Orphanage 5. The second team is represented by the girls from the Flamingo Club and the boys from the Tornado Club. They have finished their studies and now they are going to compete about their cookery skills. A special category of children is the children with psychophysical abnormalities. The Healthy Choice specialists have a socialization plan even for such special children. Our children become members of our society, and they must be ready for their life in this society. They should be able to create a family of their own, to bring up children, to find a job, and to function as well-rounded and self-sufficient members of society. We need to prepare them for that. This kind of preparation requires much more time and effort, more emotions and involvement. But if something works out, it brings the results. The Healthy Choice specialists believe that these children will find their place in life. They will have their families and their own happiness. That's why special attention during the classes is paid to the issue of family, studies, employment and accommodation. Such an important issue as state law is not forgotten. The children are informed about allowances for the orphans and are recommended where to address for help. They are even informed about child care at different stages of the child's development. This is a class with the boys. At the age of transition, it's very difficult to get on with children. But the Healthy Choice psychologist managed to do it. He answered the question, why have you decided to work with such children, without thinking. How did the idea emerge? This is a huge inner incentive to work with these children, with this category and group. All the classes are arranged in the form of role plays. By the way, it's not easy to find the right approach to the boys. Partially, it's easy to explain. Transition age is a difficult time. But it was football that helped to get along with them. We had been thinking for a long time how to introduce the leader to the group and vice versa. And it just turned out that Sergei came to meet the children exactly at the time when they were having a football match. Their team needed one more player, and Sergei immediately joined the team. They were running and falling down together, were scoring the goals, shouting at each other, and then they were sharing the joy together. After the match was over and our team won, we introduced Sergei to the children saying, "People, this dirty young man who has just been kicking the ball together with you is your group leader." It was very simple and clear for the children. The man who has just been a member of the same team will remain a member of their team in future, though they will play a completely different game together. Each child requires individual approach, and exactly because of this, our specialists use art therapy as a working method. Art therapy is one of most wonderful directions, most creative methods in psychology, which are used for the rehabilitation of children, teenagers and adults when they face traumatic situations in life. It can be the death of a close person and some kind of early deprivation for a child left by the parents, as well as a trauma connected with the loss of a close friend, a relationship and many other situations a child and a grown-up person can face in life.
Того, что переживает ребенок и человек в своей жизни.